TubeBuddy's Creators Corner. And so really excited for this episode. We've got Katie Fawkes from ECamm Live. Hey, Katie, how's it going today?
Good. Doing really well. Excited to be here. I've been watching the show for a while, so it's fun to be on the other side of the camera.
Awesome. Well, welcome. I'm super excited. Obviously, we have a lot of YouTube creators here tuning in into the show on a weekly basis, and so a lot of them are also streaming on YouTube, streaming on Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. So, wanted to bring somebody on like yourself who knows the ins and outs and gets to talk to a lot of creators and streamers as well. So, for those of you that don't know, Katie, why don't you introduce yourself? Say hello. Let people know a little bit about ECamm Live, and then we'll dive into some questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Katie Fawkes. I oversee marketing at ECamm. ECamm is a Mac software company. We actually make 4 different applications, but the one we'll be talking about today is ECamm Live, which is a live streaming studio built for Mac. So ECamm Live can let you create any kind of video content, actually both on the recorded side as well as on the live streaming side. You can do things like add your logo, roll video clips, bring on guests. If you can think it, if you can create it, you can do it in ECamm Live.
Awesome. Sounds good. Yeah, amazing. I love ECamm Live. We're using ECamm Live right now in conjunction with Restream. We've got John Ray Villanueva. Good morning. We've got also, hey, Dale Publishing. Hey, how's it going? Dale L. Roberts is here. Sup, Rob? Good to see you guys. Awesome. We've got the ECamm team here, of course.
Hey, guys.
I always thought it was you managing that. I'm like, how are you typing?
I'm magic. No, I get by with a little help from my friends.
That's amazing. And we've got Dean Reynolds as well, who is an awesome friend of ECamm. Hey, Dean, good to see you. Awesome. Okay, so this is a conversation as always. Of course, if you're watching the replay, welcome. Good to see you here. Please leave your comments, leave your questions. Katie is a good friend of TubeBuddy. And so if there's a question that you have that you leave and we can't answer it, I'll bug Katie to answer for you.
I'll be back. I'm pretty good at stalking the comments, so definitely leave those questions in there.
I love it.
Hope to get to know you guys all better.
I love it. Awesome. Okay, so let's dive into it. Okay, Katie. So for those of you that are, you are seasoned streamers, love that you're here. But we also want to make sure that we speak to those that are starting, because right now there's so much live streaming happening. People are at home. For most of us are at home for the most of our days now. We can't travel, we can't speak, we can't do workshops. So live streaming has just gone through the roof, I feel like. So for those of you that are new to live streaming, Katie, share a couple things that will help them get started and sort of get their show off the ground. And then we'll talk about some advanced strategies.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Every single person out there can live stream. So, it may feel incredibly intimidating to see some of the pros going live on a regular basis. They've got, amazing cameras. They've got full, awesome studios. They're doing things that just feel completely out of reach. It's not out of reach. Apps like ECamm Live make it really, really simple to just push the go live button. What you really need to focus on is the content. So, if you're thinking through, maybe you're a business that is typically an in-person business, and in the middle of COVID, things are scary. You're not able to be in your storefront. You're not able to reach your customers. Live video is a really effective way to take that content and put it online so that you can still build your community. You can still answer customer questions, and you can still work with people in really the same way that you would be face-to-face. It's just that you'll be speaking to a camera, pretending that that's a person across the way. So I want to challenge everyone who's new to live streaming or new to video marketing to really think beyond the gear, beyond the kind of scary feeling of putting yourself out there, and really, really focus on the content. So, again, if you're a course creator or you're a musician or you're a church, you have a story to share. You have a piece of content that you can put out there that will really make a difference to someone else on the other end of it. So start thinking through what that content is, and then you can build your way up. You can start with a built-in webcam, your built-in computer microphone. Microphones in your headphones are, a really great starting point. And then as you get better and more comfortable, and as your business is starting to grow with video, you'll be able to add on extra things like a DSLR camera, or maybe it's a green screen, or building out a whole mini studio behind you. But don't let the gear scare you off. Don't let the don't let the fear of it scare you off. You have something valuable to share, and I would challenge you all to take that time and push that go live button.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. I mean, there's so much, like, I love that you just said that anybody can go live. Literally anybody can actually go live, logistically go live. If you have a phone, if you have a computer, you can, you have a computer, you can go live, you have a Facebook account, you have a YouTube channel, you can go live. But it is about the content. I love that you said that too, that it's not about the cameras. I know that, you watch, there's a lot of content creators that you watch. I talked about this to our YouTube creators all the time. If you're looking to start your YouTube channel and you're looking up to different creators, they've been in the game for a while. They've got the cameras, they've got the lights, they've been talking to a camera for many years probably, and so they're not they're not stumbling on their words and stuff like that. So everybody has to start someplace. So I love that you said that it's about the content. So that being said, I'd love to ask you your thoughts on having a format for your show, because a lot of people, when they do go live, they're brave enough to do it, but they don't know what to say. They don't know the order of things, how to sort of plan out a live stream. What's your thoughts on that, Katie, for new people that are even in the ECamm community? What are you finding?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that having a run of show is so incredibly important, because it is really easy, particularly if you're nervous, to get off track. I've been there recently. I thought I was ready, and and you jump into it, and then questions start coming up, and it is really easy to forget what you're going to say, or to forget the value that you're going to bring. Again, a tool like ECamm Live has something built into it called scenes, which really help you plan out your run of show and your content in advance. So you really want to be thinking about it in a couple of different ways. When you're going live, you also want to be able to repurpose that content later. But you don't want to lose any of the great aspects of going live, like being able to engage with viewers, say hi to them, welcome them into the show, and then probably take questions. So if you start watching professional live streamers, even on a somewhat regular basis, you'll see that many of them have a really similar run of show. So they start off, they usually have a countdown timer or some sort of intro. Maybe it's a pre-game where it's very raw and authentic. Maybe they're getting ready, or they're doing a countdown timer. It's ticking off with some music playing behind it. And then they jump into the show, which is typically just a camera pointed back towards their face. And they do their welcome, their intro. Who are they? They engage with their audience. They're asking their audience to let them know where they're watching from, get people really excited and riled up for the content. And then they jump into the meat of the show, the point of what they're there to be talking about. So, are they sharing a pro tip? Are they, walking through how to crochet? Are they doing a magic trick? Is it a church service? Whatever the main content is, they run through that session without engaging the audience. So they're not taking customer questions or putting those comments on screen. They're really focused on the content. And again, with scenes, you can do things like maybe you're adding in a little video clip, or what Rob is doing right now. So like sharing, a screen behind you, or walking through a presentation. That's the meat and the kind of the bones of your main live video. And then at the end, they typically open it up to questions. So it's a casual Q&A. Maybe that takes it off in a slightly different direction. But what that really basic run of show does for you as a content creator is that at the end of the live video, you're done. You get, the downloaded high quality copy of your video. You can cut off the beginning part, you can cut off the end part, and then you're left with a really great video that then you can upload to YouTube. You can use TubeBuddy, optimize it, and get it into really great spots so that it's searchable. And people who didn't have that live experience are still getting the value of your content, are still learning more about you. And hey, maybe they join your live performance or your live video another time. But you've spent, the one session creating the content, and then you have two completely different forms of video that then you can use to repurpose in a couple different ways. And all of that is done by just having a plan and being able to build that out in advance using a tool like ECamm Live or something else where you're able to think through the various scenes and the flow of your show so that you have an eye to repurposing it later.
I love that. I love that. That the scenes tool, I'm looking at it right now, guys. Scenes is perfect. So that's why you guys are seeing this scene. This is one scene. Basically, a scene is like a layout, right? It's like a layout. So you have this scene. This is another scene. There's a couple other scenes here that I have from previous streams, but there's also this scene that we did. There's a couple different scenes. There's a countdown timer. There's so many things here inside of ECamm Live, but really, really awesome. I love that you shared that. So so be really intentional. I think that's sort of the message here, right? Be intentional with what you're doing. Pay attention to the replay viewer as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a cool thing too is that once you get into the habit of building out scenes, you really, most people who are doing a regular show, so you're going live maybe weekly or monthly, you can keep that same general format. You can save that in a folder. And as you start building it, additional shows, or maybe you're doing some ad hoc things here and there, you can have set folders within ECamm where, this is my, my show with Rob. This is, my show where I'm teaching cooking, and the scenes will be then saved within that folder. And so then you don't have to worry about taking the time every single time that you're about to go live to build out new or different scenes. It's the same flow. You're maybe just changing up graphics or a title because you're bringing on a different guest, but everything is all there waiting for you. And you can build multiple shows using the scenes folders, which is something I think even our seasoned ECamm Live experts sometimes forget about, because there's so many features within the app that I think scenes are one of those kind of early on foundational features that people are like super excited about, and then they get distracted by scrolling tickers or video overlays or different things like that. But I would challenge everyone to really remember the power of being able to have a run of show and to plan out your content in advance, because it does make a big difference.
That's awesome. That's really good advice. Yeah, so definitely plan to run a show. We're sharing this is another scene. Speaking of scenes, so I think people get it. I think people get it. So there's a scene. So that's awesome. So like right now, I'm sharing the ECamm Live actually community, which is amazing. You guys have built a community for your users, for people that are new. So Katie, is this for everyone? Literally, like seasoned, new?
This is for everyone. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So we built the ECamm Live community as a space where all of our live streamers, brand new ones, as well as ones who've been on our platform for a really long time, can gather together. We share tips and tricks. We have regular shows that are special just for our community members. We have a couple of regular shows that are hosted by our moderators on various topics. So it's a really, really great space if you're like the rest of us and you just don't have time to read all of our support articles or play around with it yourself. Maybe you just really need to be up and live quickly, or something is going horribly wrong and you need to figure out why it's not making sense to you. This is a great space to jump in. It's a really supportive community. It never ceases to amaze me how many people are in this community, and yet how kind and supportive they are to one another. So, questions get answered within seconds. By the time I'm able to jump in, there's already like so many answers to questions that I'm usually super late to the game and even being able to get back to them. But it's a great space to network with one another and really learn from each other. Yeah. So much. I mean, you said so much there. I think, yes, definitely networking. I'm in this community, lots of awesome streamers, content creators there. I see Dean Reynolds, by the way. Dean, thank you so much for sharing the stream it's like the Matrix. Like, oh man, that's our stream inside. Okay. So anyways, that's awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Dean. Really helpful. I mean, like I was just scrolling there. Somebody posted 3 hours ago, someone send help. And it looks like somebody's already answered it. Like multiple people have answered and helped out before you even got there, Katie. So, I mean, I'm sure you're on top of it, but for a long while, before I started, it was just our co-founders and co-developers who were in there as often as they could be. And then I joined the team and started jumping in there. And now we also have both Frank and Bradley, who are fantastic and are just really quick to answer and quick to make sure that we have all of the resources shared. So, there's certainly a lot of helpful videos and tutorials and just quick answers that go on there. But there's also a lot of teamwork and sharing back additional resources. And often that's other content creators. So, we make a lot of content ourselves, but we also work with a lot of different content creators who are way better than we are at explaining exactly what they do on a day-to-day basis and how they're using our app. So
Yeah.
So huge shout out to it. It's a community for a reason. It's certainly not just me.
That's great.
Everyone
That's so good.
working together.
Yeah, that's so good. And Frank says over 10,000 members. I mean, congratulations. That's incredible. That's so good. And I'm just going to go through, sorry, Kate, I'm just going to go in and jump into some comments here. I want to say hello to everyone. So Carol King's here. TubeBuddy instructions were fast. I have a channel, but don't know how to use the end card yet. Until I do, need to be free. Awesome. All good. Just happy to have you here, Carol. We have TubeBuddy 101. So go to tubebuddy.com/101. It's a live session every Tuesday that me and Andrew Can from our team host. So you're more than welcome. Yeah, feel free to connect with me. I'm happy to share any resources that can help you as well. And let's see here. We got Jeff Geronimo says, this is great content. Jeff, thank you so much. Says Frank, hi, Katie, and the rest of the team here. Hey Frank, and anyone, please, I want to get into some Q&A because I know that there's always questions. Please get your questions in the chat. I'm going to make sure I ask Katie here. Also, yeah, I mean, Katie gets to talk and connect with a lot of really amazing streamers and content creators. So if you have any questions around that as well, please, by all means, anything around ECamm, live streaming, drop them into the chat here. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Okay. So Frank is sharing the. That's awesome. Frank sharing the group. Awesome. Okay. Awesome. And Katie, I want to talk about your support as well because I think this is sort of like an underused, undervalued, I want to say, resource for many parts, not just for ECamm, but also for a lot of software companies. The support page here. So tell people a little bit about what happens here in this page.
Yeah, so this is definitely an under-marketed section of our website. So hopefully you guys will all check it out. It's support.ecamm.com. This covers all of our guides, all of our tutorial videos are embedded in these articles. It is the first stop when we see a number of questions coming in from ECamm Live customers that are all on a similar topic, and we don't have any resources for that. This is the first place where we build them out and then share them out to various spots. So if you want to know why, what kinds of cameras work best with ECamm Live, or how to go live to a Facebook page, or how to get the comments to pull in a Facebook group, all of the answers to all of those questions are here in the support section. It's easily searchable, and we also group them into FAQs and different sections so that the content is easy to flow through. But it's a great way to kind of be able to get a quick and easy answer to your question, in addition to the kind of direct peer-to-peer support that you'd get in the community. So would certainly challenge you to go through it if you're new to ECamm, or maybe you've been using it for a bit, but you have a really specific question. Chances are someone else has asked it, and it's here in the support article section.
That's awesome. Sounds good. Oh, I'm just going to put myself back in. Hello, I'm back. Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, I think support articles are awesome. You guys are updating it on a regular basis. Really, really good. Awesome. Great. So again, I'm going to see if there's any questions. If not, I've got some more questions. So if you guys have questions, please drop them in. So I want to speak. I want to pick your brain for people that are starting out. There's so many people starting streaming. What are like maybe one or two things that they should avoid? We talk about this a lot, but what are one or two things that they should avoid when they do start streaming and getting into trying to build that audience through their live content?
Yeah, so I'm super guilty of this, so I'm going to say this, but please know that I
real talk now, real talk time. Yeah,
real talk. I'm guilty of this. Is going too big too fast. So I think when you're first thinking about it and you're jumping in, you're like, okay, I've got to go live to Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch. I got to go everywhere. I got to, Restream makes it so easy. I'm going to multi-stream everywhere. And I'm going to make sure that I get everything into my episode. I'm going to have my logo. I'm going to bring on a guest. I'm going to have multi-camera shots. Go big or go home, right? It's not the best way to start. It seems like it would be a great fit, but there's just so many different aspects to focus on when you're just getting started that I would really encourage you to all keep it as simple as possible. Really focus on those things that are impactful, which really, again, starts with the content. So you really, if you're getting your content out there and you pick one social platform to start with, where your audience is or where you expect your audience to be, and then reshare that out through, your personal account, and be able to engage with it that way. That's gonna help you grow a lot faster and a lot better than trying to be everywhere at once and trying to do everything at once. It can be crazy overwhelming and then make you feel like you're being totally ineffective and that what you're doing isn't working. And it's not that what you're doing is wrong. It's just that you're trying to go to too many places at once and do too many things at once. And as I said, I'm super guilty of it. I'm all like, well, maybe we should be over on this platform. Maybe we should be doing it on this platform. And I know that, on our team, we're really trying to narrow it down and focus and tackle one thing at a time, and I think for us, it's YouTube. So which is why we've been so thrilled to be working with TubeBuddy. We've got a ton to learn about YouTube ourselves and really thinking through how our content can shine there. Mm-hmm. And so that feeds up to our larger strategy. So you always want to make sure that what you're doing is going to help support your larger goals and your larger strategy. But it's super easy. It's like, it's shiny and exciting, and you can make things go a little bit bigger than you might want when you're getting started. So
it's so true. So true. So true. I think we're all, to some degree, always guilty of it. Some of us more than others, of course. But there's always something. There's always an opportunity. There's another channel. Myself, I've been looking at Twitch, of all things. I'm like, hey, it looks like the Twitch audience is getting older and maturing. And I think they're, some of them might be graduating to talking about business on there. And so that might be an opportunity. So when do we explore that? At what point? But I mean, really good advice there. I'd love to know, everyone that's live or even on the replay would love to know, what is your primary, and I think whether or not you have this answer, maybe it's a good thing to think about, hopefully, is what is your primary channel? What is it? Is it Facebook, YouTube? What is it that you're trying to grow first? Like, of all the things that you want to grow, where you're, with your live show, what is it that you're trying to grow? Which channel first? I'm thinking maybe mostly YouTube if you guys are coming from the TubeBuddy community, but from the ECamm community, that could be anything. We'd love to know what your primary channel is. And if that's already good, what's your secondary channel? What's the next channel that you want to grow? So let us know. I want to say hi to Dan Holloway. He says, my two favorite people. Good to see you, Dan.
I love this community, guys. I've never worked at a company before where there are so many other businesses that are just so supportive of one another. It's just such a great space to be in. Live streaming and video marketing. There are so many companies out there that are just really keen to support one another and work alongside each other and really be able to support a really similar group of customers. And Dan at Quick does a fantastic job of that. So it's always fun to see everyone in the comments. You're like, oh, this is great. It feels like a team.
No. Dan is awesome. I know love this guy. So awesome. And Quick is awesome. So if you guys haven't checked out Quick yet, Quick, not Quik, like the chocolate drink, not like that, but Quick, Quick, closed captioning platform, amazing. Connect with Dan Holloway. He's also got a YouTube channel, Katie. He's growing his YouTube channel as well. So Dan, we see you, man. We hear you. Thank you so much for hanging out. Awesome. I'm seeing all the people here that are sharing what they're growing. So awesome. Let us know. And any questions that you guys have, right? These sessions, by the way, if you guys are just joining in, we do TubeBuddy Creators Corner live pretty much every week, sometimes twice a week. And we bring on different experts, different brand partners to help you really, grow your YouTube channel and grow your reach in different ways with different strategies. I think there's a lot of wealth in terms of knowledge from all of the different friends that we have. And so we just want to share that with you guys so that you can continue to grow your channel and hear from another voice, not just myself or Andrew, and learn from someone else. So awesome. Awesome. Okay. So when we get started, let's just, we've talked to the beginners, Katie. So I want to ask you, cause you mentioned some awesome people there, Adrian Salisbury, amazing guy, Bradley, Diana Gladney, Stephanie Liu. These are all power hitters when it comes to live streaming, and you've done live streams with them. You've been behind the scenes. What are some more advanced things that you can share with our community as far as strategies or even approach to live streaming that you've learned from them, that you've seen them sort of put into action, before you guys go live in interviews and things?
Oh, wow. Good question. Just a reminder to everyone.
Put you on the spot there. Sorry.
guys are way up here, but I feel like I learn from them on a regular basis. Everything from, thinking through appropriate run of show to how live video can fit into a larger marketing strategy. I will say that, so shout out to Stephanie Liu, her and her fantastic team at the 360 Degree Marketing just published their first book all about social media marketing, and live video is a huge part of that. And I think what I've learned most from our influencers and our kind of pro level live streamers is that for them, live video is certainly central and top of mind, but it's part of a larger strategy. So they're doing really cool things like integrating messenger bots so that reminders go out and they get people, pulled into their streams. They're running, giveaways or promotions where, watching an entire video all the way through is a part to, an entry to be able to win something larger. Or they're working, thinking through ways that they can use live video to, to fundraise or to work alongside clients for larger businesses. I think sometimes when I'm approaching it, I'm thinking, okay, this is a live video show where, we're doing these regular shows. We're doing it to help people and to get content out there. And these guys at a pro level are thinking past just that and how they can reach and benefit their immediate audience. But what is the trickle effect, that builds off of that as part of their larger strategy, which I think is huge. And I'm still learning a ton about, all the different other apps and resources and ways that live video and repurposing live video can really make a huge difference and be super fundamental to your business.
Yeah. No, that's so true. That's so true. When I get to collaborate with, these experts, Stephanie and Mike Alton and all these, awesome creators, their mind is definitely, like you said, Katie, it's like, yeah, we're going to do this live stream, but like, okay, what else? What are we doing after? Like, what are we doing after this live stream? Turn into a blog post? What are we doing?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's amazing. When I worked with Stephanie on our very first live video virtual summit, we were like, we wanted to do a summit. We wanted to provide actionable content to people. And I was like, okay, let's like all in on the summit. Let's line up all of our speakers. We're going to plan everything out. And Stephanie was like, great. And on the other end of it, you'll have 52 videos, but then you can release one video a week, every week for the next 52 weeks. And then you'll be able to pull this content. And she had the plan for the summit itself and she was nailing it, but she had the plan for down the road. And she was thinking through not only how it was going to benefit, her customers down the road, but our customers as well. And she had that whole web all planned out. And I made myself a note. I was like, all right, I'm going to figure out how to do this, and be better at this long term. Because it's so important to be thinking of the here and now and the next thing you're working on. But you also need to have that vision for what the future is going to look like, the next week, the next month, the next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think live streams are really good, and this is speaking from somebody that has done live streams for a couple of years consistently on a weekly basis now. I think it's really good for in the now. Like it's awesome. It's a great way to connect. You don't have to fly anywhere, right, Katie? Like there's no conferences happening right now, so live streams is sort of the next best thing. Beyond that, the big thing that I think about, and I think a lot of creators also think about after they've been doing this for a while, is like, how do we make the shelf life of this content longer? And so very basic things of like, making sure you pay attention to the replay viewer, just like the very simple thing of greeting the replay viewer in the beginning when you start live. Just little things like that, and then you go beyond that. You repurpose it, make blog posts, cut it up into like smaller, like little clips to share on LinkedIn and everywhere else. Literally, I get tagged maybe at least once a day or so with like, from like Amanda Robinson or, Stephanie Liu. I'm like, hey, that's from a live stream. And it's like this 30-second clip on Twitter. I'm like, oh man, like you guys are like so on top of it, and it's not like recycled like the same thing every day. It's like something new from like an interview 3 months ago. So
yeah, we're pulling out those sound bites. We've been lucky enough that there's a ton of really big names out there who love our software, and it makes it really easy, when we're interviewing them or they're doing something, to be able to just mark when they said something brilliant about our software and be able to pull that clip out, and then roll that into a video that we'd use in an ad or a testimonial reel that we're going to put up on YouTube or in a different space. So I think all of us are, overworked right now. There's, we've kind of lost our regular 9-to-5 jobs, if any of you had those anyway. But we've lost a little bit of, we don't have as much time to be able to do everything that we want to do, everything that we can do. One of the really big benefits of live streaming is that when you go live, if you've planned it out, if you've got a really solid run of show, when you're done, and then you have more time to be able to just grab clips out of it versus always having to be making another video for a different purpose. You can pull a lot of content out of a 30-minute live stream, an hour-long live stream. There's a ton of different stuff that you can do if you've planned it out with an eye for the different ways that you might repurpose that video down the road. So you really thinking about that makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then you want to push back to, whether it's a Facebook Live on your Facebook page for the full version, keep pushing to it, right? Keep pushing to it. But yeah, this is really good. Okay, we've got a really good question here from Jeff Geronimo from YouTube Live. What are some creative ways to engage the audience in live? What are some of the ways that you've seen sort of that interaction, created by the live streamer with the guest?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just asking questions to them is a great way to get them started. And you certainly doing an intro where you asking them, where they're tuning in from, or having a question of the day so that people can feel like they're contributing to part of the actual content that you're building. If you're on Facebook, you can also use Facebook polls. If you use ECamm Live plus Facebook Live Producer, so the two do work pretty well together. So you can poll them, or you can ask questions actually that way through Facebook Live Producer, which is a fun way to get people to interact. But really, I mean, a lot of it just comes down to remembering that you have an audience. If you're using a tool like ECamm Live, you can pull those comments on screen, like what Rob is doing throughout this conversation, which makes people feel special and excited, and more likely to leave more questions and comments going forward. Yeah. And then I would say my last tip is that if you're able to, I know many of you out there are one-man bands or one-woman bands, but if you're able to, have a friend or an intern or a coworker, if you have one, do comment moderation. So today we have Caleb, who is rocking it, help me out here in the comments as ECamm. But if you have someone that can actually be sitting in the comments, asking questions of other people that are there, answering questions if they have that information or that knowledge, it helps sort of free up a little bit of the pressure on you, the host, or you, the guest, and make sure that people feel like they're in a chat room space or in a group space where they're able to engage with each other. So I know that on our weekly show that we do with Luria, Go Live Now, it is amazing to me how much conversation just happens in the chat on the various platforms that she's live, that in many times doesn't even have anything to do with the specific thing that we're talking about, has like larger conversations or questions or people helping each other. And it just really feels like it's like a backyard party of people hanging out and helping each other out. So, if you have someone that can sit there and kind of help field some of that, it can make a big difference, especially if you have a lot of people watching your live. It can certainly fly by really quickly in the chat box while you're trying to share your content. So. Oh
yeah, absolutely. I think that's the best. I think that's like one of the goals as a live streamer is to build that community. We have, I'm going to call him out here. We've got Just Samson. He's a good friend of mine, and he's an awesome part of our community here at TubeBuddy. And he's always kind of just starting conversations and stuff like that in the chat. So Just Samson, love you, man. It's awesome. So Jeff says, nice ideas. This is great. You can do contests, you can do giveaways, every now and then we do that, fun ways to do that. And, like I've done this last Friday. I learned it from Dale L. Roberts. I'm not sure if he's still here, but Dale L. Roberts. And so he says like, hey guys, I'm picking a number between 1 and 50 or whatever. I'm going to give away this thing from TubeBuddy, and just guess, type in a number between 1 and 50 in the chat, and it's just fun, right? You just want to get people to talk to you, asking questions, sharing your screen, and then like walking people through. We do channel reviews. So we do channel reviews on our channel. So, we'll pull up someone's YouTube channel and give them feedback. And then we invite the audience to also give their feedback, and it's just everybody, gets value from it. So, but yeah, Jeff, hopefully that helps. Jeff, by the way, Katie, Jeff's a good friend of mine. He's in Manila and he just started live streaming, I think last week. So Jeff, I know he's just
That's so exciting. I saw Jeff on the channel review that you guys did for us. I was and saw his name come up. So that's amazing, Jeff. Good luck. It's always exciting to get started for sure.
Yeah, I love seeing that. I love seeing that. That's awesome. Very good. Awesome. Katie, I wanna respect your time. I know you're super busy. There's so many things going on. I'm just making sure that there's no other questions, but I think we are good. If you guys have any other questions, please leave them in the chat or in the comments. Leave in the chat in the comments here, and then we'll do that. Now, Katie, any sort of like final advice, any message for the TubeBuddy community? People that are looking to build their YouTube channel, but really everywhere else. As they sort of get into this journey of live streaming.
Yeah, just get started. Get out of your own head and stop worrying about all the things that could go wrong or all the reasons why it's overwhelming or scary or something that is getting in your way. And start even if it's into a closed Facebook group, just so that you can practice and have one other friend there to cheer you on. But it does make a really big difference in your business, and it does give you an amazing bank of videos that then you can pull from when things may get too busy down the road and you're not able to be going live on a more regular basis. You'll have all of that content that you can repurpose and build off of and continue to grow your business. So whether you're live streaming to YouTube or you're just using ECamm Live and going out through our record only option and just creating finished videos without going live at all, I would just encourage you to start. Video marketing is so important and so huge right now, and it can make a really big difference, especially for all the businesses out there that aren't able to have their doors open. Get online and get in front of your customers.
Absolutely. I second that for sure. And Katie, what's the best place or best way for people to get started if they're interested in being part of the ECamm community, testing out ECamm Live? What's the best way to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you go to ecamm.live, ECAMM.live, you can download a 14-day free trial, and it's no credit card required, no obligation required, completely free downloads. It includes all of our pro level features. So for a full 14 days, hit that download button, jump into our community, ask a ton of questions, play around with it as much as you're able to, and see what you think. And then we have two different plans. So we have a standard level and a pro level. We have monthly pricing as well as annual pricing. But yeah, give it a try. Join our community. There are 10,000 more people in that community who want to cheer you on, who want to share ideas and tips and tricks with you. Please, we'd love to see you and have you jump into the world of live streaming.
Awesome. Yeah, and then the community is on Facebook. So if you just search ECamm Live Community, I believe that's probably the best way. Or facebook.com/groups/ECamm Live, one word. You'll find the community there. There's also a Facebook page, of course, but do you figure probably the best is to jump into the community, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to get up and running pretty quickly, the community is the best space. Our Facebook page, we're constantly sharing content. We have live programs and shows. So if you're not quite ready to hit that download button, but you want to learn more about us or see some of the cool things that ECamm Live can do, we have a ton of live programming as well as pre-recorded videos that we're uploading both to YouTube and Facebook. So certainly, we'd be totally happy for you to be voyeuristic and take a look at what we're up.
Look at everything. Yeah, and say hello to Bradley Vincent. He's a solid guy.
Yeah.
Solid guy.
Bradley goes live in about 19 minutes, guys, and he shows everyone in our community how you can use Keynote, which is already on your Mac, to be able to create a really amazing dynamic graphics, both animated and static. So if you're like, oh man, I don't have time to hire a graphic designer, I don't know what to do, he makes it super fast and easy, and it works, literally drag and drop. So yeah, check it out, starting soon.
Awesome. Yeah, say hi to Brad. And then the last thing, Katie, is the YouTube channel. So you guys are really doubling down on YouTube. You guys have like so much happening on YouTube now.
I took your feedback. So
I love it. Yes.
Yes. I put ourselves out there and did the channel review because I knew that we have a long way to go. So yeah, so we're growing our YouTube channel. We have live programs Wednesdays and Thursdays, many times on Fridays as well. And then we've been uploading tutorial videos and other content on Mondays and Fridays. So we're almost every day of the week we have something new going on there. And yeah, we're we're pretty responsive. We live for video, so we're always happy to answer any questions or comments that come up. And you can join us on virtually any platform.
I love it. Nothing makes me happier when someone like gets a channel review and feedback, and then they do something with it.
I was not kidding. I had my notebook and I was like, update art, rename videos, move things around. Yeah, no, like Carol, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, we got to figure out how to add end cards. We got to add info. So it is amazing. Little changes can go a long way. You know, our views are way up even over just last week, and making a couple of small, super fast changes for us. So we really appreciate everything that TubeBuddy does, and we're practicing what we preach. We're trying to be better as well. People, so.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's like the Avengers of ECamm right there, you know. So
I know, I love it.
I love it. Awesome. Katie, this is awesome. I know you're super busy, and again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate what ECamm does for creators and streamers out there. So this is awesome. I'm going to share all the links, guys, after this session is done, because I only have 2 hands and like, there's so much going on. So I'm going to share all the links here. But yeah, Katie, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Guys, go check out ECamm. Amazing tool. All right. We'll see you guys later.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Katie.